Hello YouTube, this is Brian Tubbs coming at you with another video. Today is going to be a really quick video. I'm working on the piece reaching again. I've sold this thing twice in about a week. So I made the first one and they wanted the center of the donut to be painted red. So on the inside of the donut, I painted inside that circle red. That was their favorite color. They had some other things in their garden that was painted red. So I went to my automotive supply paint store and had to mix me up some, I think it's called apple red gloss paint. So I can spray the inside of that circle. So we delivered that one. I'll put a picture up of it here, just so you guys can see. They have some light shining on it. It was a night shot, and I just delivered it just a couple days ago. And now I'm making a second one because someone else purchased one. They've already paid for it, so I just got to finish it up and get this delivered to them. And then we have someone else coming that has bought these three sculptures. I have put a picture of those that they have up right above their pool. Now they want another piece for their front yard, which they're probably going to go with this reaching piece. So it'll probably be three pieces of this thing that I have to make, to sell right away. This is not for shows. It's just people want to buy it right away. And so the video today is just on how to fill a gap. I have a small gap between this stainless piece and this core 10 piece. It's where I slide this upper piece into the lower piece. There's I don't know, maybe an 1/8 of an inch gap between the two pieces where it slides in here. I could weld it, just use get my 1/8 inch 309 TIG rod, lay it in there, and just do a lay wire welding technique. Where if you're not familiar with lay wire, say this is my TIG rod. As opposed to having your torch, you dip, you move, dip, move, dip, move, like that. With lay wire, you just take the TIG rod, lay it in the seam here, lay it right in there, and just take your torch and just weld right across it. And that's kind of sounding like a pretty good idea right now. I just thought of it, but I just lay it in there. Just take my TIG torch and just go right across it, and I'll fill the gap in. That's one way to do it. If you have TIG wire, thick enough to fill your gap. Another technique that I like to use is I just took a piece of stainless steel. This is 11 gauge, which is right around 1/8 of an inch. Because this is stainless, core 10. So I just got some stainless steel, and I'll get it up so you guys can see it a little bit better. It's just it came off of a sheet. I just cut it off of a sheet, and it's probably about 1/4 inch wide, and again an 1/8 inch thick this way, if you will. And I just took it and just kind of rolled the edges, so when I lay it in there, it won't have the edges sticking out. So I'll just kind of lay it up in there, and I'll just tack the ends just so it'll stay in there. And I won't do this on camera, but after I tack this in, I will stand the piece up on this side, so this will be up in the air. Then I'll go ahead and do my regular weld technique, where I go in and just weld the two pieces together right here in this seam right here. Now with this piece, the only place I welded this upper to the lower is in this seam, the other seam on the back side here, and inside of the donut up here. That's the only place this piece is welded. Then of course I welded the donut to the inside of this piece. So that's the only areas where they're welded, but it's solid. It doesn't move. It's absolutely solid. So the only welds you see on this entire piece is here and on the other opposite side of here. So I'm just gonna just put this in, just kind of let you guys see how I feel, you know, gaps, if you will. And like I said, I could use my lay wire technique, or I could just, you know, dab and move, but just putting, as opposed to just laying the rod, I would push the rod in as I'm welding, just pushing, building up the weld. But I'm gonna go ahead and go with this, just to fill the area in, and then I'll just kind of tack front and tack back. But I'll move you guys in a little bit closer so you can see exactly what I'm doing here. All right guys, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just taking this piece, making sure my edges are rounded, because this is rounded. It's not flat. It's not straight. It has a kind of an arc to it. So I'll take this piece, just lay it in there. I'm not going in too deep. I want to be pretty much level with the surface that's there. So I want to make this piece really the same you know, as this piece. I don't want to have it tucked in, because when I weld, it's going to have a little drop in point. It's going to like kind of roll down. I don't want that. I want it to look like this just naturally goes to this piece. It's not a difficult task. It's just gotta get it lined up until it's pretty much flat with the walls. That's here now. And I don't want it sticking up beyond the top of this, because you'll see this thing in there. So I don't want you to see that. So I'm just kind of getting it so I'm not seeing it up top, nor am I seeing it down on the bottom. So let's cut the same as this piece. And you don't have to do it like this. I mean, it's just the way this how I do it sometimes. So what I'm gonna do now, we just put a tack here and here, and I'm gonna tack it to maybe the outer piece. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe if I can get on both pieces, that'll be fine. But probably more the outer piece. So I just want to hold it together, because I'm gonna have to take this whole piece, turn it up, so I can weld in a downward position into that seam. But just for you guys to see how I set it up, I have it laying on its side, because it's really the only way that I could do it. Because if I had it standing up, that would fall in there. And I don't want that. All right, so I'm just gonna tack it, and tack it. All right, hope you guys can see this. Okay, I tacked it there. and then tacked it there. So I just tacked it in 2 spots, and that'll be good enough for me to take it, stand the piece up on this front side or side, whatever it is, and go ahead and finish welding, and I know the piece won't fall down in there. All right, guys, I decided to let you go ahead and see how I'm going to attempt to weld this thing up. So as you can see, I'll be welding right in the seam here. Just trying to hopefully get this thing to flow right. All right, and here we go. Hopefully you guys can see. I'm gonna come back here, make sure it's welded in, not going to pop up on me when I'm welding back here, and then I'm gonna hit it in the center. And I'll just be going right down the line, trying to fill the gap as best I can. Just trying to make it look as natural as possible, like there's no filler in there. My water's set at 90 amps, but I'm not full pedal. I'm going to go down and see if I can do a little bit more down here. Alright, now so I'll go up in this area here now. I'll just do more of a lay wire technique in here. Okay, so now I have that. Now I'll take and just go right down here, smooth all this out. I'm just going right down the center. I think I told you guys in other videos that I use this technique when I don't want to take a grinder to get in there to grind. All right, guys, so that's how I fill gaps. And when I look at it close up, it's like there's no filler in there. It looks like it's just naturally done, like everything was really tight together when I started. So you'll never be able to see that little piece of filler in there, just based on how I welded it up. And so there's many other ways to do this. Like I said, you can use lay wire. You can use what I just did. I'm sure there's other ways you can do it. You could use your dip technique, but this metal is 16 gauge core 10. This wall is 11 gauge. So if I was just using my normal dip technique, I could start burning this 16 gauge away because it's not going to take that much heat. So it will be best, if you're not going to use a filler, to use your lay technique. Lay the wire in there, run your torch to the thick metal, run it back to the thin, back and forth. Just kind of a weave pattern, but keeping most of your heat on the rod and that 11 gauge wall, and just kind of catching that 16 gauge outer lip as you go along. You don't keep your heat on that 16 gauge, it'll just start melting away, just burning away. I mean, the stick is tough, but I was running 90 amps. And at the start, 90 amps is cool, but as you go along, it's going to get hotter, hotter, hotter with that 90 amps because the heat is building up. So that's just how we do it here. But like I say, guys, it's going to be a quick video, and maybe I'll name this video how I fill gaps or something to that effect. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this one, and I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope I see you on the next one. I'm not sure what I'll be doing, but I'm going to have to eventually do a 1 year review on this prime weld table, so maybe that'll be my next video. I'm not sure, but I'll see you on the next one. To all your friends and your YouTube buddies, to like, subscribe, and do all that stuff you guys know how to do. And I'll see you on the next one. And as usual, peace out.